good. What a goal!
Somehow, some magic. Is there any better? I don't think so.
And the champion gets it home.
Unbelievable. Vintage Andrew McLeod.
Welcome to Open Mic, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.
You seem to play with the freedom and the energy and imagination of a bird released from a cage. It was sort of like your stage, wasn't it, the footy field?
Oh, yeah, well, I guess it's a place where you could be yourself and just go out and express yourself.
But you know, as you were growing up, I mean, most kids have got a shyness about them, but the people who know you say that you're very shy, but it never seemed to manifest itself on the field. I mean, you look confident even to the point sometimes of looking arrogant on the footy field.
Oh, yeah. I suppose it's just, you know, I guess being comfortable in that environment and being able to, you know, when you play, obviously don't, you know, you forget to forget everything that's going on outside it. So, at that point in time when you're playing footy, that was your own little world.
I remember writing a story in the Herald Sun on a Friday morning once in 1997. And urging Victorians to go to the MCG and have a look at this wonder kid from South Australia play. Now, you got plenty of footy, but my memory that night is you kicked about 1 goal 7. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. I remember I reckon it was a bit wet against Richmond, and yeah, a couple of boys had shown me that article that day, so I appreciate the pressure, but no, it was good.
It's some sort of record, 340 games in 16 seasons, 3 Best and Fairest awards spread over 10 years, 2 premierships, 2 Norm Smith medals, a Michael Tuck medal for Best of Field in a NAB Cup final, and a Jimmy Steins medal for Best in the Australia-Ireland series. I mean, it just seemed to be that the bigger the occasion, the better you played.
Oh, I guess I don't know. I guess growing up, it's one of those things you always played out, and in mum and dad's lounge room or in the backyard about kicking the winning goal in the grand final. Every kid does it, and you always wanted to, and I guess when you listen to a lot of the past players talking about, most great players are judged on their performances in big games. So it was one of those things that I guess I was always conscious of, and probably for me is I remember when I played in the first grand final and thought back about the only 2 other blokes that had played in grand finals from the territory won Norm Smith medals. So there was a fair bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Felt a fair bit of pressure there.
So
it's
Maurice Rioli and Michael Long.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. 1998, 7 goals in a preliminary final, and then a second Norm Smith. Let's stay with the preliminary final for a moment. What did you think when Little Libba waddled up to you in that game against the Bulldogs?
Oh, at the start of the game, I thought I was in for a hell of a day. I guess it was probably a good thing in the end, because having someone with that reputation come up and stand next to you, and I guess it forced you to step up and obviously want to perform. So it was a great challenge, and it's like when I used to go out at any other game and get tagged. It was just one of those things that you look forward to it, and because it was a challenge, and you had to obviously dig pretty deep in your bag of tricks to try and come up with something to obviously perform at the level you want.
Let's go back to the start. You grew up in Darwin, and your book, The Black Crow, which is a very enjoyable read, says your father, Jock, virtually, I know he didn't actually abandon you in the true sense of the word, but he left you behind in Adelaide, didn't he? Because he made the decision that your future was with football and you were better placed in Adelaide than in Darwin. Is that correct?
Well, abandon's not a bad word. No, but yeah, he did.
Have you told him that?
Yeah, I always get stuck in him about that. But no, look, at the end of the day, I guess it was probably the best decision that for me for my footy career.
Was it difficult to adjust?
Yeah, it was tough. I guess the hardest thing to adjust to was just getting used to the different lifestyle. So eating different foods was probably the biggest thing for me. Coming from back in Darwin and the territory where you sort of live off the land and everything, like you're fishing and hunting and stuff like that, and we come to Adelaide and it's all of a sudden the food's totally different. So that's probably the biggest hurdle for me. But and obviously the cold weather, and still to this day I hate the cold, but I've been able to put up with it for 16 years, so
Was your original nickname at Adelaide Hamburger?
There's a group of guys there that like Mark Prosciutto and Sean Tasker, Simon Tregenza, and they used to have a competition at the end of the season to see who come back the heaviest. So it was one of those things, and then worked it off. But
you never won that, did you?
No, I soon realised that it wasn't in the best interest for you to perform at your best, and certainly a lot of hard work if you go about it that way.
Your arrival at Adelaide had a lot of drama leading up to it, didn't it? You should have been a Fremantle player. Tell us about what happened when Fremantle invited you to Perth. You flew over there with your father in business class, had a meeting with Gerard Neesham, then coach, and Gerard McLeod, the recruiting manager. Why didn't it result in you being a Freo player? I
guess I just didn't like the vibe of the meeting. I was sitting there with my dad, and was in a tiny little room, and just didn't feel right. And I guess because of that, I just thought it was a bit of a lack of respect. So,
did Gerard make you more uncomfortable when he asked you to stand up and have a look at your dimensions?
Yeah, it was a bit of that. And I had a couple of earrings in as well. He didn't like my earrings. And
is it true that, did he say to you they've got to go, the earrings?
Yeah, he wasn't real happy with them. But and then he asked me if I could swim as well, because he's doing a lot of swimming training for pre-season. And I guess as a young bloke, and all you want to do is play footy, and I didn't get a good feel. So I told the old man that wasn't for me, and let's go.
The Freo offer was $7,500 to sign and $600 a game. Amazing how quickly things change. I reckon you ended up getting about $7,500 a quarter when you're at your peak at Adelaide. But in your own playing career, the money for players just grew astronomically, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I guess the money grew, and so the demands of players as well. So I probably came into the back end of when players were, still working jobs, and I remember going my first pre-season, and blokes like Wayne Wiedemann would be spending 7 or 8 hours in digging trenches and laying pavers, and doing some landscape gardening, and then coming to training, and then doing a 2 or 3 hour session, and then within 2 years that had pretty much changed, where players could only work 1 day a week, 2 days a week, because of the commitment with the footy, and then a few years later to being full time.
Tell us about your coaches. Robert Shaw gave you your start. Malcolm Blight took you to the mountaintop. Then there was Gary Ayres and Neil Craig. Just a sentence or two on each of them.
I suppose Robert Shaw, he certainly gave me my opportunity, and one that I'm always grateful for, that I got to play AFL, and he saw fit that I could contribute to the Adelaide Footy Club. Blighty, I guess he probably taught me how to play footy properly, and really showed some genuine interest in myself, and to help me develop into the player that I was. I guess Ayres, he certainly taught me some different things about how to deal with taggers, and probably had a bit of a different defensive aspect in my game as well. And Craigie, I guess I've had a long association with Craigie because of when he was the fitness guy at the club back in Blighty's days. So he's probably similar to Blighty, that he's a great teacher of the game for some of the young blokes, and especially towards the end of my career, certainly helped me with a lot of different dealing, probably taking it to another level in regards to dealing with taggers, and finding other ways for me to get involved. Probably became a better contested ball player with Craigie as well. So it's one of those things that certainly take away different things from each coach. Who
did you most enjoy the prospect of playing on? Like waking and sort of putting one game behind you and sort of saying next week we play such and such, and knowing deep in your gut that you just wanted to play on whoever you're going to get.
I used to love playing against Sean Hart. because I knew it was always going to be tough. And Paul Lucuria was another one. I used to love playing on him. But then I got an opportunity to play on some really good players too, that probably helped my development as well. I remember playing a game at the MCG where Blighty asked me to tag Nathan Buckley, and that was good. I got a football lesson and a half. But
what was his instruction then? Was it about learning the game?
I think it was more about, it was learning the game. So just to, at that stage I was starting to, I guess, learn to play on the ball, and it was more about just follow him around and see where he goes, and just watch what position he gets himself into, how hard he works, and just the other stuff he does when he doesn't have the footy. So, but that was a great lesson for me to be able to do that. And I had that opportunity to do that on the Michael Voss, James Hurd as well, and just love those opportunities to help me grow as a player. When
were you at your peak, did you think?
Probably the late 90s, early 2001, 2002.
So you got better after the two Norm Smith, did you?
Yeah. I think that was early days, and in '97 that was only my third year in the competition. So I still had a lot of growing up and a lot to learn. But it wasn't probably till those years that I guess that's probably when I played my best footy. But I continued to probably play some more up footy after that. But looking back, there's probably there's about a 4 or 5 year period there that was probably my best years. I'm pretty comfortable to be able to sit here and say that I had a pretty good career, and I'm pretty happy where it is.
After the break, McLeod talks about the coach who accused him of not trying in a game and his address to the United Nations.
The defence around McLeod, looking for his 15th possession, deep in the pocket, stops it, was he held? He goes on, open goal!
I'll ask you about Easy. I don't know if it's fact or fiction, but he allegedly said something to you after a game, an away game once, that you took as him suggesting that you weren't trying. Is that true?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
We played up at the Gabba, and I guess he looked back on it, and he was probably trying to teach everybody a bit of a lesson. But at the time, I took it to heart, and I could. He said that I'd towed it, and said it in front of my teammates, and he'd given everyone a spray and left me till last, and gave me a real hide, and I guess the person that I am, I was quite proud person, and I didn't agree with him, and I obviously didn't play to the best of my ability, and nor did everybody else in the team. But we lost. But to say that I didn't try was really cut me, and wasn't happy at all.
You've got a deep sense of commitment to your culture, haven't you?
Yeah.
Was your mother strong on that?
Yeah, I guess it stems from from my mum and my mum's family, and it's all about knowing who you are, where you come from, your sense of who you are, and your purpose and all that type of thing, and being connected, I guess, through your country and so forth.
But your dad had a Scottish ancestry. Has that got any special place in your heart?
Oh yes, certainly does. Yeah. And something that it's obviously something I'm very proud of as well. And I haven't actually had an opportunity to go over there. And it's one day I've been talking to the old man about getting over there and going to the going to Dunvegan, where McLeod Castle is, at the Isle of Skye, and visiting it, and seeing what it looks like.
One of the big influences in your life is someone that every time I mention his name, people who know him just sort of light up and speak volumes about him. That's Michael McLeod. How close were you to him as a young bloke?
Michael's married to one of my cousins, so I used to see him a lot at Christmas time, when he'd come back from from the big smoke, and so when I was a kid, I used to always just sneak up and grab a chair and sit next to him and just talk to him about footy, and I just, you know, I guess for me, you know, growing up and just loving to play footy, and having someone that you know, played in the VFL, and it was like sitting there and you could actually touch him and talk to him, but he just always gave his time, and you know, was always there to pass on advice or to help and talk about just talk about footy, and you know, how hard, like what he used to do, you know, how hard it was he had to train. And I remember, you know, sitting there and freaking out over, you know, because he was, I guess, he might have been a little bit before his time. He, you know, very, you know, like at that time, I guess he was a perfect build for an AFL player, and obviously trained really hard. But he was great just to be able to put some time in, and even to this day, you know, like he's been a bit of a mentor, always been a mentor for me for a long time, and you know, I still ring him and chat to him and talk to him about stuff, and you know, he's fantastic, but he does that for everybody.
He does. You grew up barracking for the Bombers. Who was your hero?
Paul van der Haar.
Vander, yeah. What, because he was so spectacular, wasn't he? Just that thing about flying and just flying through the sky.
He just, I don't know, he just was a bit different to everybody, you know. And there's a lot of players back in those days. I used to love watching Alan Ezard and Tim Watson play. I think Paul van der Haar will certainly stand out for me.
I want you to explain to me your mantra from little things, big things grow. It seems really important to you. What's the origin of that?
Well, I guess you know the song from Little Things, Big Things Grow, and from that's not. I guess it's close to me because that's near where I grew up as well, from where that originates from, with Vincent Lignari, and how that sort of happened. But I guess it just shows that you know, from little things, big things can grow. So if you've got a dream and you want to pursue it, there's no reason why anything can stand in your way, as long as you keep moving forward and building that momentum. Then big things can happen. Tell me about the night, your testimonial, when you and your Indigenous brothers performed a traditional dance. That must have been an amazing feeling for you. Yeah, that was pretty special. I guess to be able to share our culture with something that you know, obviously very passionate about, and something something that I've always tried to do at the Adelaide Footy Club, is to promote that awareness of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture and who we are, and you know, obviously try and get some more players there as well. But some of our boys, some of the Aboriginal boys, they'd never been able to do that, or you know, they've never. I guess I was pretty lucky. I grew up and I learned how to dance. You know, it was part of growing up, but some of these boys haven't had that opportunity. So I guess it was about that connection for them as well, and giving them that opportunity to connect and to showcase it. What does the name Tyson Edwards mean to you? Good player. Is that it? Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, we all know that. What about you? You spent 15 years with this bloke. Is he a friend of yours? No. But are you a friend with everyone you work with? No. No, but you were friends with him, were you not? At one point in time, yeah. What happened? Oh, it's obviously we had a disagreement, and you know, about about an issue, and went our separate ways, and you know, so be it. But did you talk? I mean, I know you functioned on the ground, obviously, because that's what you have to do. But yeah. Did you have any dialogue at the footy club? No. Did the club, were they upset by that? I guess it wasn't ideal for them, but they knew the situation, and were able to manage it. And like most places do, like I was saying, like not everyone gets along in working environments, and but I guess the beauty of it is we were able to have a professional relationship where we could both go and do our stuff, and it wasn't like I'd get out there on the weekend and Tyson was free and I wouldn't kick the ball to him.
Mm-hmm. No, no.
It's one of those things that when you play with someone for a long time, obviously it's instinctive, and you know where each other are going to be and stuff. So it's you don't even think about those things.
Did the fallout centre on Leighton Hewitt?
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm. And you want to share anything about that?
It's in my book if you want to read about it.
What about those who can't just go to the book cabinet now and get it out? I mean, just
save up.
Are you friends with Leighton Hewitt now?
No.
No. Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's part of life, and for me, I guess from that, obviously there's some good and bad that come out of it, and probably the good thing about it is it made me, I guess, made me a lot stronger as a person to stick up for what I believe in, and there's a point there where I had to, draw a line in the sand, and certainly made me made my connection with my family a lot stronger as well.
Earlier this year, Australia Day, you're in Geneva, you're addressing the United Nations on racism in sport. How did that make you feel?
Extremely proud to, I guess, to represent Australia, represent the AFL, and my people. Talk at the UN. If someone ever asked you that, or ever said to you, you get an opportunity to speak at the UN about combating racism through sport with the AFL, I don't think I would have ever entertained that idea, or I'd told them they were kidding themselves. But it was a great opportunity, I guess, for to tell the story, and I told this. I guess I told my story, but my story wasn't about me. It was a reflection about thousands of other people, and it was a proud moment.
Were you emotional?
I guess a bit. When you it's one of those things, I guess, when I always think about that, and about talking about the stolen generation, and I think about my great grandmother, and a lot of those old people, and I guess about how they'd feel now about our country, and the fact that we're trying to move on, and it's something that certainly so I think about a lot, and I guess I get when it comes to that, because I'm so proud of my culture and who I am. I guess sometimes that emotion probably does get the better of you. I remember when Kevin Rudd gave the apology, and I actually gave I sort of went out of my way to. I felt I needed to tell my teammates and the club about what that meant for not only for myself, but I guess for our people. And I remember, that was speaking about emotions. That was pretty emotional to get up and talk in front of the teammates about that.
Was that a training?
Yeah.
And you requested, you asked Craigie, could you do it?
Mm. Yeah, that was pretty. That was, and I guess that because of all that emotion behind it, and then John Reid came up to me and said, at the time, he said, as a 57-year-old man, he said he couldn't, like he said, he just said, "Oh, thank you," because he said, I didn't understand it.
Is that the bravest thing you've ever done, football included?
Nah, not the bravest thing I've ever done, but it certainly took some courage to be able to do that. But it was great that my teammates and they loved it.
So if you're not sure what you're doing on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday night, and footy's in the mix, is there someone that would attract you to go and watch them play?
Yeah, there's a couple of blokes that I'd certainly pay money to go and watch play. One of them's Gary Ablett. You know, I just love the way he goes about it. I don't know, something about him. Chris Judd's probably in that mould as well, but the other bloke is probably Jonathan Brown. Just love the way he goes about it, and you know, think about a modern day footballer, and he's probably the perfect mould. He just wins games for Brisbane.
Anyone challenge Roo as the best Adelaide player, present company excluded?
Yeah, oh no, I guess it's tough. But yeah, some blokes, like, I definitely pay money to go and watch Patrick Dangerfield play. Yeah, he's exciting, and in a few years I think he's going to be a very scary player. But we're just starting to see, you know, I guess some inklings of what he's able to do.
You reckon you could run him down?
Yeah, I'll say that. I could run him down. I don't reckon I could wrestle the football off him though.
I agree with that. It was great watching you play, mate. It was a delight for all of us. It's been fascinating talking to you about your journey. Good luck with whatever comes from here.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
Thank
Andrew.
McLeod, he couldn't, could he? Don't tell me! Ridiculous!
This has been a Fox Sports production.